No, you hang up. No, you gotta hang up first. No, you hang up first. Guess I hung up first. Alright folks, welcome back to another episode of Just 1 Cent. It's been a week. A whole week. Let's go! After a couple episodes of our series focusing on Jim, Barnes, Lee, Penguin, and Ed, we get our young trio back with us. We get Ivy, Bruce, and Kat. And in this episode, we actually get to see what happened to Ivy fully panned out. And we actually get to see Ivy being Poison Ivy. Like, she uses plant toxins to steal from a guy. She like drugs him or whatever and then goes and takes his stuff and ta-da! Poison Ivy. And it's been way too long since we've seen a live action Poison Ivy, so good on you, Gotham. Ivy's new escapades get the trio in trouble and Bruce has to step in to save the day. It just goes to show you don't have to be Batman just yet to be a good person. And boy was it awkward when Bruce said that Ivy looked nice in front of Kat, who he's kind of dating, so they're kind of a couple. It depends on who you ask. With Barnes rage quitting on Simon last week, Jim is in a frantic investigation to prove that Simon was right when he whispered to him that Barnes was the one that shoved him through the wall. Barnes is the law again in this episode, issuing out his own brand of justice. This dynamic between Barnes and Jim kind of leads the episode along, whether it's 1. Jim interrogating Barnes on a police ride. 2. Barnes killing a mobster in front of him. 3. Barnes attempting to frame Jim for the murder of the mobster. And you thought you had a horrible boss. It's time for Dean's Comment of the Week. Dean says, "Oh crud, Barnes knows. Gordon knows that he knows. Now Harvey knows that Gordon knows that Barnes knows that Simon knew." This has been Dean's Comment of the Week. And all of this probably led to the best fight scene in the entire series so far. Not the season, the series, with Jim and Barnes duking it out. And we finally get to see Jim's solid resolve as a police officer, where he stands on the side of the law, not his own emotions, to issue out justice. We also get to see Bullock and Lee working together to really help Jim take down Barnes, who is crazy messed up with the Tetch virus. And after being shot, we see Barnes being thrown into Arkham, where he just stands and rages all day. In the other parts of the episode, we get to see Ed lose another girlfriend. He's gonna be crushed. Poor Ed. Poor Ed. Poor Ed. In his emotional slump, Ed just sits on the couch sobbing, and Penguin tries to comfort him, but really doesn't do a good job because Penguin leads him to finding out the truth that it wasn't an accident that killed Isabella. It was actually a murder. The only hitch was that in Ed's investigation, he believed that it was Butch that murdered Isabella, and not Penguin. So we get to put up with Penguin still lying to Ed. This is never going to end. And while there was no Alfred or Fox in this episode, which is kind of a bummer, there were these guys. We've already had encounters with Richard Sionis in this episode. Nope, in this series. In this series, so is this his son? Is this an uncle? Is this a new guy? Or is this maybe part of that secret organization that Catherine's in? Who knows? And the best line of this episode definitely goes to Bullock when he, on the phone with Jim, says, "You have to tell Barnes what Simon said." Because you know, Simon Says is that little kids game that we all like to play when we were young and we'd run around on the playground and we'd like, Simon didn't say, so
you can't move from that tree. And then move from that tree, so we like walk up and pinch something weird, because guess what, we're 4 years old, we don't know how to
exist with other people yet. And lastly, this week's teaser shows us that Carmine Falcone is coming back. Probably something to do with his son's wedding, except he is not happy at all. He wants Gotham to burn. He must be Gotham's new reckoning. And that does it for this episode of Just 1 Cent. We certainly hope you enjoyed it. We certainly hope you'll join us next week for next week's episode. And until then, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and keep that imagination alive.